Welcome back to Turf Talk, Clocker Edition. Ed DeRosa alongside Gary Young. And Gary, one race we really haven't talked a ton about is the Juvenile, which is part of the two-day double with the Classic, so we'll get to that as well. But 2-year-olds, everyone will be thinking Derby favorite afterward. We have Game Winner from the West, Complexity from the East, kind of a showdown there. Any thoughts with the Juveniles?
I give a slight nod to Game Winner. I do get to see him train on a regular basis, and I don't get to see Complexity. I was in New York for Complexity's Champagne. It was very impressive. I don't think many people thought he was going to be on the lead by himself in that race, but that's how it kind of shook out. But that's not supposed to take anything away from his performance. Game Winner he's a very imposing looking horse, and I think he's going to take a lot of beating in this race. You're probably not going to need a wheelbarrow to take the money you're going to make gambling on him home, but he is by no means, in my mind, a weak favorite. He galloped over the wet racetrack very nicely this morning. He's got a post where Rosario can probably place him second right outside whoever his target might be, and more than likely it might be Complexity. And I think we could see a pretty good battle royal, and I would give the nod to Game Winner in that one.
All right. Well, that does lead into the Classic, as I said. It also, which we'll get to, but it also caps the Pick 4 on Future Stars Friday. And I bring that up because I really want to beat Newspaper Record, and people are telling me I'm crazy. But if you've seen anything in the morning to either talk me on or off that stance?
No, I mean, Newspaper Record's going to be a favorite, and it's a race that the Europeans have held their own in. For a 2-year-old, he's a big, good-looking horse. If they just walked him past you might even think it was a 3-year-old. But he's going to be a short price. But that most Chad Brown freaks are short prices.
And she, so if she looks like a 3-year-old, really imposing. And does bigger size mean anything on soft turf? Is that better or worse? Or is it?
I think it just depends on how they get over it and how much they sink in. It doesn't. Some people might think that a smaller horse might not sink in as much, but that's not the case. It's just there's no real science to it. Even how they gallop over it, there's not much of a hint in there. But when they ask them to run, and and they really, some of them accelerate without sinking in, and some of them do sink in, and they're trying like hell, but they're sinking in, so they don't run as fast as the other ones.
Right. We hinted at the double with the Juvenile going into the Classic, and I know West Coast impressed you this morning. Is it a Bob Baffert double for you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think California's going to win the Classic. If I had to name it on 3 notes, I'd name all 3 California horses: West Coast, Mackenzie, and Accelerate. But I've always been a West Coast fan. He looked very imposing galloping over the wet racetrack this morning, and it's not by a large margin, but I'm going to make him my choice in the Classic.
All right, there you have it. West Coast for Gary and Game Winner. So Bob Baffert, no stranger to the winner's circle, maybe 2 more notches in the belt. And Gary, really appreciate the insight throughout the week, and we'll have a short write-up with some of this up at twinspires.com as well. Wish you a lot of luck and at the windows and beyond.
The windows
and
are
at
big.
The sale.
The windows are big, and and Baffert, if he wins these races, he will not need an usher to show him how to get down to the winner's circle.
He knows the way. All right, well, appreciate it, Gary. Have a great weekend, and see you at Derby time.
Yes, sir.